3:47 a.m., Ukrainian drone operators receive coordinates for a high-value Russian command bunker, coordinating artillery strikes across the Donetsk sector. The target sits 12 meters underground, hardened against conventional bombardment, protected by layered air defenses. The Ukrainians have 47 minutes to execute before Russian counterintelligence adapts their frequencies. The strike package is unlike anything seen before. FPV kamikaze drones, long-range Lancets, and electronic warfare jammers working in perfect coordination. What happens next demonstrates how precision drone warfare has evolved beyond traditional air power. The secondary explosions that follow will be detected 50 kilometers away. The Ukrainian mixed asset package represents the cutting edge of asymmetric warfare. You're looking at 3 distinct drone types working as a coordinated system. First, the FPV drones. These are modified racing quadcopters, each carrying a 2-kilogram warhead with a 15-kilometer operational range. The operators use analog video transmission to maintain control even under heavy electronic jamming. Think of them as precision-guided missiles with human pilots maintaining visual contact throughout the entire flight profile. The Lancet loitering munitions provide the heavy punch. Each Lancet carries a 40-kilogram payload with a 40-kilometer range and AI-assisted target recognition. These aren't just flying bombs. They're intelligent hunters that can identify specific vehicle types and structural weak points using onboard processors. Supporting both systems are electronic warfare drones, specifically designed to jam Russian Pole 21 early warning radars. These EW platforms create electromagnetic dead zones, essentially blinding Russian air defense operators at critical moments. The ingress route exploits a fundamental weakness in Russian S-400 coverage. The drones follow nap-of-the-earth flight profiles, using terrain masking to stay below radar horizons until the final approach, at 50 feet above ground level, traveling at 120 kilometers per hour. They're nearly impossible to track using conventional radar systems. Coordination between 3 separate drone teams requires split-second timing. Team Alpha controls the FPV diversionary swarm. Team Bravo manages the Lancet penetration strike, and Team Charlie operates the electronic warfare support. Each team communicates using encrypted burst transmissions lasting less than 2 seconds. The Russian defenses aren't helpless. Pantsir S-1 systems protect the bunker perimeter with dual 30mm cannons and surface-to-air missiles. But these systems have critical blind spots. The Pantsir's radar struggles with low-altitude targets approaching from multiple vectors simultaneously. Russian Tor M2 systems provide additional coverage, but their fire control computers can only engage 4 targets simultaneously. When you're facing a coordinated swarm of 12 drones attacking from 6 different approach angles, the mathematics become brutal. The Ukrainians exploit another weakness. Russian air defense doctrine relies heavily on centralized command and control. When electronic warfare drones jam the communication links between individual Pantsir systems and their command post, each system operates independently with degraded situational awareness. Timing is everything. The EW drones must establish jamming coverage exactly 90 seconds before the FPV swarm begins its diversionary attack. This creates a window where Russian operators know something is happening but can't coordinate their response effectively. The Lancet drones approach from a completely different vector, using the FPV attack as a distraction, while Russian gunners focus on the immediate threat of kamikaze drones diving at their positions. The Lancets penetrate the perimeter at low altitude, targeting specific structural weak points identified through satellite imagery. The primary target isn't the bunker itself, it's the ventilation system. 12 meters of reinforced concrete can withstand direct hits from conventional munitions, but the air circulation shafts represent a critical vulnerability that leads directly into the command center. If you're enjoying this breakdown of modern drone warfare tactics, make sure to subscribe. We're just getting to the part where precision engineering meets explosive results. At 3:47 a.m., the electronic warfare drones establish their jamming corridor. Russian Pole 21 radar operators watch their screens dissolve into static as targeted electromagnetic pulses overwhelm their receivers. The jamming isn't random, it's surgical, designed to create specific blind spots while leaving other frequencies operational to avoid triggering full defensive protocols. 90 seconds later, Team Alpha launches the diversionary FPV swarm. 12 modified racing drones accelerate to attack velocity. Their analog video feeds streaming directly to operators positioned 8 kilometers behind Ukrainian lines. The FPV pilots can see everything. The Russian soldiers scrambling to defensive positions, the Pantsir systems rotating their gun barrels toward incoming threats. The diversionary attack targets secondary infrastructure, communication towers, and supply depots surrounding the main bunker complex. This isn't just distraction. It's systematic degradation of Russian defensive coordination. Each FPV drone carries enough explosive to disable a radar array or communication relay. Russian Pantsir S-1 systems engage immediately. Their 30mm cannons fire at 2,500 rounds per minute, filling the air with tungsten core projectiles. The first 3 FPV drones are destroyed within seconds, but their sacrifice serves a purpose. Russian gunners are now focused on the immediate aerial threat, their attention drawn away from low-altitude approaches. Meanwhile, Team Bravo's Lancet drones penetrate the perimeter using terrain masking. Flying at 50 feet above ground level, they follow pre-programmed routes that exploit natural ridgelines and urban structures for concealment. The Lancet's AI target recognition system has been loaded with satellite imagery of the bunker complex, specifically the ventilation shaft configurations. The Russian Tor-M2 systems detect the Lancets at 4 kilometers range, but their fire control computers are already tracking multiple FPV targets. The brutal mathematics of air defense become apparent. 4 simultaneous engagement channels against 16 incoming threats from multiple vectors. At 3:51 a.m., the first Lancet reaches its target. The ventilation shaft is exactly where satellite imagery indicated, a concrete structure protruding 2 meters above ground level. The Lancet's 40-kilogram warhead detonates precisely at the shaft opening, sending explosive force directly down into the bunker's air circulation system. The second Lancet targets the primary communication array, a hardened structure designed to maintain contact with Russian artillery units across the sector. The explosion severs fiber optic cables and destroys backup radio equipment, effectively isolating the command bunker from its operational network. Russian Tor-M2 systems finally achieve fire control solutions on the remaining Lancets. Surface-to-air missiles streak toward their targets, but the engagement comes too late. 3 Lancets have already reached their designated impact points. The primary warhead detonation occurs 12 meters underground, exactly where Ukrainian intelligence indicated the main command center was located. The bunker's hardened construction initially contains the blast effects, reinforced concrete and steel designed to withstand conventional bombardment. But the Ukrainians weren't targeting the bunker structure itself. The precision strikes on ventilation shafts create pressure waves that travel through the air circulation system like a pneumatic hammer. Emergency blast doors slam shut automatically, but the overpressure has already reached the command center. Inside the bunker, Russian officers experience catastrophic pressure differentials. The ventilation system, designed to protect against chemical weapons, becomes a conduit for explosive force communications equipment fails as shockwaves travel through cable conduits and air ducts. The remaining FPV drones complete their diversionary mission, targeting fuel depots and vehicle maintenance areas. Russian air defense systems continue engaging targets, but coordination has broken down. Individual Pantsir crews operate independently, their fire control solutions degraded by ongoing electronic jamming. At 3:54 a.m., 7 minutes after the initial EW jamming began, the immediate tactical phase concludes. Ukrainian drone operators confirm primary target destruction through real-time video feeds. The command bunker appears structurally intact from external observation, but internal communications have ceased entirely. Russian response capabilities in the sector are effectively neutralized. Artillery units that previously coordinated through the bunker now operate with degraded fire control, unable to mass fires or coordinate counter-battery missions effectively. What happens next transforms a precision tactical strike into something approaching strategic impact. The ammunition depot adjacent to the command bunker wasn't a primary target, but structural damage from the ventilation shaft explosions compromises its containment systems. Concrete barriers designed to channel explosive force safely upward develop stress fractures from the underground detonations. At 3:58 a.m., secondary fires ignite 200 tons of artillery shells and rocket propellant. The initial combustion spreads through the depot's storage chambers, where Russian forces had stockpiled ammunition for sustained artillery operations across the Donetsk sector. The secondary explosion is equivalent to 500 tons of TNT detonating simultaneously. The blast creates a crater 400 meters in diameter, completely obliterating not just the ammunition depot, but the command bunker itself. The reinforced concrete structure that initially contained the Lancet warheads simply vanishes in the secondary detonation. Seismic sensors detect the explosion 50 kilometers away, registering it as a magnitude 3.2 earthquake. Ukrainian forces position 15 kilometers from the target. Feel the ground shake beneath their positions. The blast eliminates the entire regional command infrastructure. Russian artillery units across a 40-kilometer front lose their coordination hub, fire control computers, and ammunition resupply point in a single catastrophic event. Russian response capabilities in the sector are eliminated for 72 hours. Without centralized fire control, individual artillery batteries operate independently with degraded effectiveness. Counter-battery radar systems lose their network connectivity, making coordinated responses to Ukrainian artillery strikes impossible. The crater remains visible on satellite imagery for months afterward, a testament to how precision drone warfare can achieve effects far beyond the initial warhead payload through careful target selection and tactical timing. Ukrainian precision drone warfare showcases how modern conflict is evolving, proving that coordinated swarms and intelligent target selection can achieve strategic impact beyond traditional air power. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let me know. Did this analysis help you understand the shift in modern military tactics? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth military air videos and technology breakdowns.